that she's looked at Einstein's and Mark Twain's hands. Which one should we have her elaborate on a little bit and let us know what she saw when she looked at those? Let's start seeing what some people are saying, if they'd rather hear about what Mark Twain's hand said or Einstein's. I'm kind of interested to hear about that myself. Those are two pretty fascinating fascinating people. So it's a
Yeah, I
tie
think
right
so.
now. It's a tie right now. So whoever types in Einstein or Mark Twain next, that's who we're gonna do. It's Einstein. It is.
Good choice. Einstein is so fascinating. So he actually had a very special hand shape that we call a conic hand. And basically what that means is that the base of the hand becomes very rounded. Okay, so it's like almost like it bulges at the bottom. And from what I understand about Einstein is that he wanted things to be beautiful. So when he created his equations, for example, if it wasn't a beautiful equation, he would throw it out because he thought the universe would have order and beauty.
Wow.
And that's what the conic hand really is representing. So I thought that was interesting. He had a huge thumb. Oh my gosh, his thumb was ginormous. And big thumbs are capable of big things. So it makes perfect sense that he had, a big thumb.
Yeah,
And he was able to use that big thumb.
for sure.
So yeah, I thought that was really neat. The other thing, of course, his headline, of course, very exceptional, which represents the way that you think. He had a really, really beautiful headline representing that he could solve problems really well, and he was also very creative and intuitive. He had a really deeply curving headline, so he loved to dive into deeper contemplations, and it made sense that he wanted to contemplate the universe. His hand was perfectly equipped for that. He had really cool hands.
How difficult would it be to twist your arm to talk about Mark Twain? Now we have a lot of people saying they want to know about Mark Twain.
Oh, okay. Mark Twain's hand was actually a very delicate hand, which I thought was interesting. He also had a really long little finger, his Mercury finger, we call that one. So that represents his cleverness, and he definitely was way ahead of his time. I don't know if you realize this about him, but he wrote a book in the 1850s, I believe it was, and one of the culprits in his novel was actually somebody who was discovered through their fingerprints, and this was before the first fingerprint bureau was ever established.
Wow.
So he was about, in fact, the first fingerprint bureau was established in 1901 in Scotland Yard, and this, I mean, here it is in the 1850s. So he was way ahead of his time, but he had a really, really weak thumb. And so when you think of that willpower, I heard from somebody that he had a hard time hanging on to his money,
Huh.
and that would make sense based upon his thumb. So I thought that was interesting.
That is very interesting. There you go. We learned a little bit about two very influential figures in the world. Does anybody else have any other questions for Cindy? Otherwise, we've got a couple other things for you that we can wrap up the night with. But if anybody else has a question, you can feel free to drop in real quick. We'll probably take one more and then move on.